Morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing wonderfully well today. Got a lot of rotation happening today in the market. Just to start with the macro front, we do have the US dollar absolutely ripping here intraday, breaking out here on the hourly chart like it wants to sweep that high. Good morning, YS. Hope you're doing well. You're going to take a break. Well, sometimes that's a smart thing to do. Reset, refresh. It's hard to watch the charts each day and not take a trade. But the US dollar absolutely pumping here to the high side. I'm not too sure why it's pumping. There was no real economic data that supports a pump of this magnitude. You do have Fed Governor Warsh speaking, and earlier today, the Bank of England Governor Bailey speaking, and then ECB Lagarde. So perhaps it's just hawkish monetary backdrop. And then the technical pattern obviously is still strong and broken out to the high side. So right away, the markets are under a little bit of pressure today. You do have gold, which is interesting, still green despite the US dollar pumping. So we'll have to see if gold gets slapped right back down here. It does look pretty weak on the overall trend. You do have semiconductors, SMH, going to be gapping down this morning. SOXX under some near-term pressure. The strong stocks like Micron, Nvidia are seeing some pretty decent sell side pressure. Intel, the memory, DRAM, Western Digital. Let's look at this DRAM ETF. That's set to gap down this morning, and probably this DRAM ETF DRAM looks like it wants to go down to this gap fill. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more downside in some of the semis and DRAM stocks. All right. Yeah, Kevin's saying market's gonna trend lower to. Yeah, it does look like that, right? The only positive is that you do have IGV gapping up this morning. So simply the money that's rotating out of semis isn't outright fleeing the market. It's pushing into your software names, and then it's also pushing back into Meta today. Meta getting a really big boost here in the pre-market, gapping up on the session, well over 600. Very, very strong price action from Meta, up 7.7% right now. Apple's also doing well. Reports last night came out that Apple's set to raise their prices of their iPhones due to the cost inflation of your DRAM and memory parts. So that's obviously a positive for investors. Pricing in that iPhone 18 will be a little bit more, I guess, expensive, creating higher revenue targets, so on and so forth. Microsoft this morning is also getting a really big gap up over 2%. Good to see. We are long Microsoft. Google this morning getting some sympathy on the back of Meta. Google has broken out of a falling wedge. A little bit of daily chart resistance up here, but chart pattern does look somewhat decent on the long side. We've also got some accumulation in staple stocks. General Mills this morning gapping up pretty sharply off its earnings report. You got Constellation Brands, STZ showing a little bit of strength as well. Nike reported earnings yesterday. Stock was down substantially lower, all the way down to this 37 area. It's pushed right back up off the lows, but still a nasty downtrend for Nike. You got to watch that one because it does look like it could easily go lower. LiDAR stocks are continuing to catch a little bit of a bid here. INVZ had a beautiful day yesterday, looking to push higher today. Ouster has had a wonderful breakout move, a little bit of a softening pullback today. LIDR is another one that's trying to catch a minor little bit of a bid. Just scrolling through the landscape, uranium slightly green. Yeah, it's all about shorting semis and longing software today. That IGV up over almost 2%. Serves now 4.18. Hmm. This is still the one software name I like on the long side, ticker FIVN. Makes a lot of sense for a longer term investor to be accumulating down here. I'm interested to see if solar gets another little bid here. There's been quite a bit of volume and hype increasing in the solar trade recently, but it keeps on getting sold. Hmm. So the big question today is, do semis keep selling off and does IGV hold its gains? If we get IGV to break down, then these indices are going to get slapped pretty hard. But for the time being, IGV right to the highs in the pre-market. 10 minutes till the open. We got Bitcoin flat. Yields are pushing slightly higher. Today we do have a little bit of data this morning. We got manufacturing PMI at 9:45, so in about 25 minutes. Then you got PMI, manufacturing PMI, and manufacturing prices at 10 a.m. So there's kind of potentially two tape bomb time frames, 9:45 and 10 a.m. Nike is probably a fat short down again. Would not be surprised to see Nike go back down to 39 bucks. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on today is probably put options on Nike. If we look at this Nike chart, I still think Nike has to. I did swing some lotto downside puts for end of the week, but I'll probably grab a few more. The position was fairly light. I think Nike's probably at least gonna tap this channel that it's been chopping in here. So hasn't officially kissed that channel just yet. So again, considering the selling in semis, SPY is actually holding somewhat steady here, and that's the rotation trade under the hood of the market. You got SOXX down 3.24, IWM down 0.36, SPY holding up relatively well. It's only down 0.19 or $1.42. Your QQQ is your lagging indice. That's down 0.82%. So again, you can see how saturated the Qs are with your semiconductors, and that's being dragged down. So Nvidia down 2.16, Google up 1%, Apple up 1.48, Microsoft up 1.93, Amazon's green up 0.63, SpaceX basically flat, Meta up 6.95%, Tesla just slightly red, down 0.17, that's basically flat, Micron down 5.75, AMD down 3.5, Intel down 3.3, Netflix is green, financials are mixed. But you know what? When semis are selling, guys, it provides a lot of liquidity for other individual smaller cap stocks to squeeze. So it's always an interesting day when semis are selling because there's so much liquidity there. So much. Wow, Nike's trying to go green. Nike's green in the pre-market. Interesting. Interesting. 7 minutes till the open. Quantum seeing a little bit of sell side pressure as well. What else do we have shaking and moving today? Let's see. Again, a lot of these software names look like they got quite a bit of upside. So we'll see if the dips get bought in software land today. Yeah, I would say the first pullback in SOXX is safe to SOXS is safe to buy. That's not a bad idea. I'm definitely leaning more bearish today. I'd prefer to short something rather than going long with this sell-off. But again, with the gap down in semis, I wouldn't be surprised for a little bit of a bid and then a continuation. So I'm looking at shorting the first potential pop in some of these names. That IGV ETF is strong, 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 strong. Mhm. So IGV right now is gapping over the 20-day moving average. The crazy thing is Microsoft's 20-day moving average is still about $10 away. So if Microsoft plays catch up to IGV, I mean, it could send that ETF much, much higher. That's the cool thing about it. It's 4 minutes till the open here. Yeah, look at Microsoft go. Microsoft's pushing hard here. She pushing hard. As strong software is, it's tough for the market to bounce if semis keep selling. Still so saturated in semi land. But the US dollar did just take a big shit. It dumped hard to the downside there. Still green on the session, but that softened up quite a bit there. That should help things. Microsoft has triggered an inverse head and shoulders bullish formation on the hourly chart. upside potential just based off of that pattern takes you about 400. I mean, that could be a crazy lotto for the end of the week. 400 calls on Microsoft. Hmm, interesting. Hmm. You probably will get a bounce on SOXX here. They rarely ever just sell SOXX straight down. They usually open it up, give it a little facelift, and then if they're going to take it down, they'll sell it. But it's been rare that you just see it just sell right from the open. Not saying it can't happen, but usually they bounce it. All right, we are open, ladies and gents. Excuse me. Nice bounce on your software. 5.9 is strong. Semis are wicking around here. I am looking at Nike put options, guys. $40 puts. Trying to let some of the IV roll off here. Nvidia is getting hammered still off the open. Microsoft small pullback. Semis are still strong, or sorry, software is strong. ServiceNow up 4, GoDaddy up 2.8, CRM up 3.9, Microsoft up 1.2, IGV up 1.6, SoFi pushing up 1.4. Oof, big push on Nike. Uranium's green. Meta holding majority of its gains. S&P 500 still pretty weak here, but your US dollar selling hard here, guys. Selling hard. All right, high risk. Nike's going pushing here. I'm going to jump into $40 puts here at 13 cents. High risk. It is trying to break out here. Beautiful. That was a snipe on our puts, guys. They're already up 80%. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at that reversal back down. I don't know why it didn't. Sorry, that was Nike. Nice. All right, I'm selling half, guys, of my Nike puts. Stop is at break even. All right. That was a nice, just under 100% gain on those puts, guys. That was telegraphed well in advance as well. Beautiful. We're up over 150% here. Look at Nike cratering, man. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'll only look to trim when these puts go to 40. If Nike gets to 40 bucks, undercut this low, I'll dump all the puts. Look at the drop on Nike, guys. Beautiful, man. Look at that. What a snipe, man. What a snipe. Software trying to give it up a little bit. Damn, that was crazy how quickly those exploded. Literally 3 minutes from 14 cents. They shot all the way up to 57. Big bounce though. But we should go lower. Nike should take out this low, which should put it around 40 bucks. SPY's just getting absolutely slaughtered right now. Let's look at SOXX. SOXX is losing prior day low for the time being. Come on, Nike, go down. CRM pumping. SoFi ripping. Microsoft starting to come in here. Now, this is a scenario if we get software to give up some of the gains here, that would be a big problem for the indices. Meta is still ripping. Come on down, Nike. You can do it. Wow, S&P's getting rocked right now. There's going to be some support off the 741 area. Previous little gap fill, 10-minute EMA. Guys, Nike is drilling here. Get ready. I'm getting ready to take my profits as soon as we undercut that 40 area. We are up huge in these Nike puts. Beautiful. That was our top setup in the pre-market, Nike puts, and they are paying. We're up over 300% on these Nike puts, guys. 300%. Let's get paid, baby. Come on down, Nike. You know you want to swipe that low. Grab that liquidity. Nice amount of volume sitting there. That's a bullish, is that a bullish engulfing candle? Yeah, that was a bullish engulfing candle. Yeah, so take that liquidity. Come on, Nike. You can do it. You can do it. SOXX is still pretty weak. Come on, baby. Here, US dollar still pretty weak here. Come on, Nike. Nike's almost there, guys. We're almost there. Up 350% on these Nike puts. 370%. We are rolling, baby. Come on, Nike. You can do it. SPY, SOXX, still pretty heavy. Microsoft pushing, which is going to help IGV. IWM, all indices are down. QQQ getting slaughtered down 1.3. SPY down half. IWM down 0.37. IWM is the strongest for the time being right now. So there's still some green out there. Interesting. How are solar stocks doing? EMPH. That's trying to push up here. EMPH might not be a bad squeeze candidate. Huh. They're trying to bounce Nike here. Come on, Nike. You know you want to go down. First Solar catching a bounce here. Let's look at some of these other names here. IBM. Well, IBM's looking pretty decent. Quantum still pretty mixed. CRM having a day and a half. ServiceNow strong. GoDaddy is ripping. SOXX is still at the lows. Staple stocks are having a nice session as well. Come on, drop it down, Nike. Drop it down. You know you want to. SOX new lows. Nvidia trying to lose its pre-market low. Big bounce on Nike. Still up 100%, just over 100%. But that's a big bounce. Wow. Nvidia is still struggling here. Micron down 7.2, AMD down 4.5.3, Intel down 4.7. You still got strength in Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Google are all green. Nvidia down 3%. Nasty selling in these semis. Nasty. Come on down, Nike. Jeez, man. Nike could even hit 39, guys. If you didn't grab any puts, $39 piece for end of the week could even play out. And I'm just in the 40s, riding them down. I also have some lottos, but crazy. Mixed bag out there. Lots of strength, but lots of weakness. Which way is it going to go? Nice session for Palantir as well. That's up 5.3%. Meta is just a beast. CoreWeave getting slapped. SpaceX getting slapped now. NBIS, Nebius, wow, that's down 13%. That's getting slapped. Wow. IGV is the place to hide for now. We'll see if it holds. Uber getting a bounce. Symbiotic. Yesterday we did take profits. Our first trim on SYM. Symbiotic. Near the highs. That's been a beautiful since we observed last week. This was putting in a nice weekly chart bottoming tail on high volume. Nice bounce. Double digit gain there. Meta is just one powerhouse beast right now, still screaming higher. That's crazy. Big reversal on Nike. Don't let Nike puts go against you if you're in it. Warning, GLW backtesting the 7-day. Is that a buy spot? Is that a buy spot for a bounce? Maybe. Maybe a day tradable zone. Let's just see what's happening here. It still looks pretty weak. IGV still holding steady. A little bit of top wick distribution. SPY still struggling. SOXX is trying to catch a little bit of a bounce here. Yeah, it's very trappy here. That's why I said wait for the first bounce. And you do have the Dixie melting here, so that could provide a bit of positivity for the markets to bounce. The US dollar is firming up here, or sorry, dropping like a rock. Underneath its pre-market low right now, looking like it's going to roll over to the dark side. Um, it's very trappy here, but yeah, markets are setting up for a nice relief bounce intraday, especially since that US dollar softening. Bitcoin's firming up, silver, gold firming up here. Big reversal. Again, I have a stop loss on my $40 puts for Nike, break even. Let's look at these semiconductor ETFs. So they are getting a nice bounce right now. I would say SOX has a strong chance at trying to pierce this opening range high, the 620. I would say if you're looking to short SOX, you probably want to see it pierce this opening range high, and then you better hope that it's a little bit of a fake breakout. So I'd wait for that 620. Me personally. Look at some of these software names. MNDY absolutely flying. It's not even Monday yet. But Monday's pushing. Monday is pushing. So this is the start of a new month, guys, and new quarter, which is interesting because right away you're getting semi selling and software pumping. So bit of potential structure change under the hood of the market. But look at some of these softwares. FIVN, that's still pushing hard. CRM acting very, very well, up over 5%. Trying to get through that 20-day. ServiceNow pushing. ELTR pushing. Let's look at some of these cyber securities. CrowdStrike trying to push. Yeah, CrowdStrike. Look at that bullish fucking bull flag on Crowd. That thing's crazy, man. PanW is probably the same. Wow, PanW is even crazier. Sheesh. Wild stuff. Our small softening on Meta. Still up pretty big. Nike's just floundering around right now. Look at the US dollar here. This market's gonna bounce hard, guys. That Dixie's getting slapped. Look at that sell. I guess that manufacturing PMI, let me see what it's come in at. Jeez. Manufacturing PMI coming in worse than expectation. Forecast was 55.7, coming in at 53.9. It's still above the 50 handle, which is still technically growth, but the growth is a lot smaller than what the market was forecasting. Look at the bounce, those semis are pushing. My oh my, Alcoa down 8. Guys, I am getting stopped out of my Nike puts. All right. They're very close to stopping me out at break even after we trimmed first. Silver's absolutely flying. Bitcoin's flying, trying to get back above 59,000. Here comes that 620 sweep, guys. If you're looking at an entry on SOXX, 620 Pierce is your entry. Nvidia's firming up, defending pre-market low. Consumer staples still very strong. GIS up 6.3%. All right, now you have software starting to lag as your semis are bouncing. So it's like these algorithms are literally programmed to buy one or the other. If they're buying semis, they're selling software. If they're selling semis, they're buying software. Very rarely are we getting the two to simultaneously rally or simultaneously sell off. All right, Nike still in these puts. They never stop me out. $40 puts are pretty cheap again if you're wanting to re-enter a Nike. They're now testing 25 cents. They were at about 17 cents there. So there's your 620 Pierce on SOXX. It is an aggressive zone to short, but that would be the level. And then you hope for a bit of a fake opening range high breakout. But software is starting to come in, so just be careful. Usually that money rotates back into semis. Software is coming in. Google getting faded, Apple getting faded, Microsoft getting faded. Amazon's weak, down 1%. SpaceX down 3.5%. There's a little bit of rejection there on SOXX, guys. That's exactly what we discussed. Opening range high, sweep, you want to short that. That's starting to come in slightly. Again, there's still that 10-minute candle hasn't officially closed yet. There's about 30 seconds left. We'll see what happens. IGV, little bit of softening. Microsoft coming in hard here, breaking opening range low on MSFT. That's a bit of a problem. Nvidia getting some hard sell side pressure right now. Next data set is in 11 minutes. 11 minutes we have ISM manufacturing prices and ISM manufacturing PMI. Still have Fed Governor Warsh speaking. Microsoft is getting faded, guys. Software might start to roll here. Tesla's now green. I'm going to go long SOXS around 352. I'm going to go long SOXS around 352. Shares. All right, I am long SOXS 352. I'm going to give this trade about 7 minutes. SOXS, if we get a 10-minute candle close and push above our opening range, then I'll look to stop out. And then the hard stop is going to be down here. Come on, Sammy, sell off a little bit more. Revisit the lows. SPY's getting a really big push. Software is still getting a nice bounce back. IGV pushing right back to the highs. It seems like Microsoft was doing an opening range low liquidity sweep. Still got a lot of strength in software. Nvidia stabilizing around 195, down 2.4%. IGV pushing right back to the highs, looking for a new high a day. Your US dollar's trying to bounce off of its opening range low, still underneath its pre-market low. Nice bounce back on SOXS. All right, I'm going to raise my stop, guys, on SOXS. 348 stop. S&P acting phenomenally well here. Semis are trying to roll over a little bit more. Nvidia is still holding above its pre-market low. Come on, come on. IGV now up 2.5%. Did make a brand new high of day there briefly. IWM is green on the session. Very interesting. Marvell still down 3.5%. Intel down 3.9. Tesla's trying to push higher. Meta's still super strong, holding above 600. Apple's pushing higher. Gold and silver still strong. Bitcoin still trying to push higher. Yields are getting faded. 2-year yield is now red, but the 10-year yield is green. We do have more data in 4 minutes, guys. PMI, manufacturing, and manufacturing prices. So keep that in mind. Heading into that 10 a.m. time frame, guys, I am going to put a break-even stop loss on my SOXX long here. I'm going to put a break-even stop loss just in case you get a big wick up or down. My first trim on this SOXX position is looking at prior day high. I'll trim half, raise stops. But into that 10 a.m. time frame, I'm going to put a break-even stop, all right, guys? I don't want to get wicked out or caught in a big downdraft in case they pump the market on the data. IGV still pushing. SpaceX now down 4.5%. Ouch. Nike having a great session now. That's pushing higher. Nice push on Kratos today. KTOS. Two minutes till data. IGV new high of day, pushing with force. I like it. Data Vault up 16%. MSTR bouncing back today. That's up 6.5. Meta still so strong. On the back of that news, potential new revenue stream. BlackBerry having a good session. What else? AMD still pretty weak. GIS up 8%. That's crazy. General Mills. Never moved like that when I tried playing on the long side. All right, 1 minute till data. What a nice bounce back on SPY. SPY's only down 0.25% right now. QQQ down 0.94 while IWM is green. Google's green, Apple up 1.13, Microsoft up 1.32, Amazon clawing itself back, down 0.22, SpaceX still drilling, down 4.69, Meta up 7.5, Tesla up 0.5%, Micron down 6.7, AMD down 3.6, Intel down 4.3, Nvidia down 2.4. Let's see what that data comes out. So forecast for manufacturing PMI is 53.8. ISM manufacturing prices forecast is 77.7. Right now, your US dollar is sitting on its pre-market low. 10 and 2 yield are mixed. Break even stop on these SOXS in the event they want to flush it. I'll always look to re-enter. I can look to re-enter around 348 would be my new re-entry on SOXS. But markets are pumping here. SPY getting a nice continuation push into the gap. You got manufacturing PMI coming in worse than expectations, 53.3. ISM prices coming in at 73. So both data sets coming in weaker than what it was forecasted. Next data set is crude oil inventories in 30 minutes. Right now, crude is down 0.7% under 68.97 a barrel. All right, they never wicked me out. Still have a break even on these semis. SPY could now be doing an opening range high liquidity sweep, getting rejected off of its pre-market high level. Here we go. Come on, sell us back down. Nice push on SOXS. Come on, semis. You know you want to go down to your lows. Retest your lows. Come on. Retest your lows. You know you want to. IGV still at the highs. Microsoft still trying to trend higher. Nice push on SOXS. Your US dollar is also trying to firm up a little bit more. Nice. Software still pushing. Intel's trying to defend its 7-day moving average, but it looks very vulnerable, like it wants to lose it. Nvidia is still holding above its pre-market low. Marvell, strong bounce back in MRVL. Micron, still defending its low of day, but looking pretty heavy. S&P making another run, try to tempt through that pre-market high. Software's pushing. Microsoft looking like it wants to revisit its high of day. IGV up over 3% and squeezing. IGV is recapturing its weekly 7 moving average. Very cool. Meta up over 9.3% right now. That's filthy. What a move in Meta. What a move. Crazy. All right, IGV has a little bit of resistance up here. A minor touch of resistance. There's 2 previous pivot highs, one going back to June, mid-June, and then June 9th. So June 9th and June 10th and June 15th. There's a couple double pivot highs on IGV that it looks like it wants to go there. Again, there is a little bit of a short trade here on IGV for those scalpers. Um, if you're aggressive, you can take the first pivot. If you're more conservative, you wait for the second. I would wait personally for the second pivot, just due to the fact that Microsoft is trying to give us a new high a day. Software is still strong. So if you're wanting to scalp short IGV, it's into a sweep of this secondary high pivot. Looks pretty decent. Maybe even a Pierce of 94 bucks. So I would take, if you're looking at shorting IGV, and it's the strong sector to short, so it's a tough one, I would buy $94 puts. But it's looking crazy strong. SPY trying to go green here. Crazy. IWM is ripping. That's up 0.45% already. Look at Symbotic. I like it. SYM squeezing. Look at that squeeze on SYM. Beautiful. Over 12.8%. Uber's fighting back today. How's uranium doing? Yeah, it's making a comeback. Small software rejection. Small rejection on IGV. Off that initial high pivot zone. Wow. Buy once that gap. It's pushing with force. Lots of tickers turning green. Man, software is strong. Look at MNDY today. Nice. Nice. Come on, Microsoft. Squeeze it higher. Go test that 20-day. Go test that 20 moving average. NVIDIA catching a nice bounce as well. Guys, I just trimmed our SYM position, another 1/3. Locked in about 12.85% on the shares. Small softening in IGV. Nice push on SoFi. SoFi is trying to set up a little bit of a breakout here. Take a look at the SoFi daily chart. Very close to a bit of a bullish breakout here, guys, on SoFi. If it gets through this downsloping trend line, it's off to the races. It's built up a nice amount of consolidation, some higher lows. You're above the daily chart moving averages. Yeah, SoFi's looking decent. SoFi could be squeezing. Next up, 20 bucks. See you there. Nice bounce on uranium. SMR looks like it could kind of squeeze as well. Oklo, that's firming up. And then E, trying to push. SPY goes green. It's filling that gap. You know, that could have been the dip buy creating an inverted head and shoulders on SPY hourly chart. Patterns there. There is a bullish inverse head and shoulders now forming with this gap down and buy program. If SPY holds here, it needs to consolidate a little bit more and build more of that right shoulder out, but it's got the structure behind it now. Strong bounce on Nvidia. SPY's flat, IWM 0.6, QQQ still down 0.72. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Tesla all flying. SpaceX is getting clobbered, down 5% or so. Microsoft still looks like it wants one new high of day push. I'm still just sitting in the SOXX position. Break even stop at 352. Considering that the S&P has pushed to its gap and SOXX hasn't made new lows, still tells me that there's quite a bit of selling in these semis today. Microsoft above 380 now, pushing. Go, 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 go. All right, semis are starting to roll here a little bit. More liquidity pumping into your software trade. SoFi go. SoFi starting to squeeze. A 2-year yield down 0.7, 10-year yield also just went negative. 15 minutes till crude oil inventories. SOX is still down 3.5%. NVIDIA, it's opening range high. Nice sell on your semiconductors. Hell that. Nice push, guys, here on SOXS. Come on. I'm gonna protect the trade SOXS with an in the money stop, 353, so 1 penny. Trade is risk free. Let that run. Come on, sell these semis back down. Here we go. Here we go. Semis are starting to break. IGV new high day. Microsoft new high of day. Lots of software names putting in new highs on the session. Software still holding steady. IGV still squeezing here. So this is the resistance spot, guys, for IGV. So I am expecting a little bit of a push, a little bit of a pullback. Again, those double pivot highs, we are trying to sweep them. So there is a little bit of resistance here. They might try to squeeze it through that, but $94 puts off this area for a scalp could work out. We're a little extended intraday. I'd wait for Microsoft to give us a new definitive high of day. It's very, very close. Microsoft has a high pivot resistance around 381.60. SPY's still trying to go green here. It's a beautiful pattern on SoFi, guys. It's breaking out here of a W formation on the hourly chart. Next daily chart resistance around 1859, and then if it clears that, SoFi is going to squeeze hard. Microsoft still trying to push through 381, new high of day. SPY new high of day. Here comes that sweep of those two main pivot highs on IGV. Again, $94 puts are looking interesting here. I might take a couple here once we get sub $1 on these $94 puts. Right now they're trading between a little bit of a spread. Bid is 90 cents, ask is 130, mid is 110. I'm looking for anything under $1 on these $94 puts for IGV. It's going to be a probably only going to take like 5, 6 contracts. There's a little bit of a scalp opportunity here. Waiting for the mid to get under $1 here. Come on. Push it, push it, push it. Microsoft is now coming into its pre-market high level. Right, this push up in IGV should give me an entry here. Still sitting in these SOXS, up 10 cents a share. That was the nice little liquidity sweep. I have a resting buy order on IGV $94 put at 90 cents, hoping to get an entry. SPY still grinding higher. US dollar is trying to climb back a little bit. QQQ still down 0.8. SPY's flat. IWM up 0.46. New SPY. You can see how IGV is finding a little bit of struggling resistance at these pivots. Microsoft bubbling up into hourly EMA 113, just shy of 383. On starting to see more sell side pressure. Semi starting to see more sell side pressure. Here we go. SOXS is flying. Pushing. Come on, baby. Push it. Nice rejection on IGV. Rejection on IGV. That's a double pivot high resistance that we discussed before we head into there. So semis are already weak. If we see software pull back pretty decent here, the S&P is going to find it hard to stay elevated. But for now, SPY is actually holding remarkably well. It is above its pre-market high, so you want to give it the benefit of the doubt. But if it loses its pre-market high, it can melt really hard. Nice pullback on software. So IGV starting to lose a little bit of momentum. Still have strength in Microsoft. SPY still holding about pre-market high. But semis are selling pretty sharply here. You got Nvidia rejecting off of its opening range high. Micron going for new lows, down 7.2%. AMD, Intel still pretty weak across the board. Nice. All right, guys. First profit target on SOXS is coming into effect here. 368, so we're 2 cents away. I'll look to trim half. Almost there. Micron coming into its 20-day moving average, which is about $16 away at 1,050 and change. It looks like it wants to head down there. A little bit of hourly chart support here, but come on, SOXX. Microsoft still trying to push higher. Micron going for that new low of day. Can it do it? MU, new low of day there. Micron just made a new low of day. All right, guys, I'm trimming half of my SOXX there. First profit target hit 368. Raising stop, beautiful, locked in 4.65% on that day trade. That was a nice big position. Raising stop to $3.60, so the trade is risk-free. Nice job if you caught that with us. Great little trade. You can see IGV, anyone that took those $94 puts off of this zone. Beautiful little scalp there as well. That's amazing. Now we look at SPY again. SPY is starting to roll over, but remember, it's still bullish above pre-market high. So you want to give it the benefit of the doubt. Nice trades. All right, I've pretty much made 2 for 2. Nice job on Nike. Nice job on SOXS, guys. My job here is done for the day. Hour of trading, and I've made my money. I'm still going to stay on for a little bit, but just going to manage those positions that I'm in here. I wouldn't be surprised if SPY loses pre-market high and sells off a little bit more. But Microsoft, new high a day. Wow, that's pushing, baby. Pushing. So maybe they're going to keep software pretty strong throughout the rest of the day. And again, looking at Microsoft's intraday pattern here, it's got a really bullish formation intraday. Hourly chart, that is a textbook inverse head and shoulders pattern that gives us upside to 399. So very strong, very, very strong. Meta, new high a day, so you got a lot of strength still out here. Micron selling hard, new low of day for MU. She's fallen to the downside. SOXX position is still ripping. Uber's nice bounce on Uber. That's up 1.5. 5.9 up 6.6. Beautiful. I like it. Service now up 4.8. GoDaddy up 3.3. CRM up 5. Interesting. Financials doing really, really well. Look at the squeeze on SOXX, guys. All right, here's my stop to 362 on SOXS. Raising stop to 362. Micron's still coming. It looks like Micron wants to head for its 20-day moving average. That's at 1,050 and change. Big bounce on SPY, semis. All right, guys, good job trading today. If you caught that IGV, Nike, and SOXX long. It does look like the semis are probably going to remain weak throughout the course of the day. The one thing I'm watching here on my other window is can NVIDIA. So there's a bit of a divergence between some individual semis. You got Micron making new lows, but NVIDIA is trying to hold and break out of its opening range high. If NVIDIA can clear the 196.22 area, and it's made 3 attempts at doing so today, then semis can start to firm up. But if NVIDIA loses its prior day low at 195.11, these semis are going to melt even harder. Microsoft new high of day. IGV still looks super duper strong. Sharper here. It's going to force the markets lower, still riding this SOXX. This SOXS is into this 375. And I'm just going to trail stops as price action squeezes higher here. So 375, I'll trim another half, leave a few runners, but our position is pushing here. And I'm going to raise my SOXX stop to 364. 364. IGV, Microsoft still fully bully. Micron new low of day heading into that 20-day moving average. Micron now down 8%, over 8%. Meta still strong. Microsoft, Apple, Google, Tesla all ripping. Other mags are starting to catch some of that semiconductor liquidity. Ripper. SOXX is coming into my next profit target, guys. There's TP2, guys. Trimmed 6.8% gain there on SOXX. All right, and the final trim where I'll dump the full position is into this 380 pivot zone here. TP2. Good job, guys. Good job. Raise my stop to 367. Majority of the position has been taken in profit. I only have about 25% left. SPY coming into pre-market high. Nasty sell. Nvidia is starting to get a little bit weaker here. Micron still selling here. Micron is only $5 away from that 20-day moving average. It's coming in. Sharp, sharp, sharp. Again, if SPY loses this pre-market high, it's good night. Software's still holding though. Wow, look at Alcoa down 11%. That's filthy. You're getting a lot of other sell signals across other names starting to creep in here. Wow, Meta's a beast as well, so. IGV new high of day. Microsoft still pushing, baby. All right, Micron guys into that 50 or that 20-day moving average. It's basically kissing it right now. So there should be somewhat of a bounce here, but if it doesn't bounce here, I mean, then we're going for 1,024. It's still looking horrible though. Nvidia stabilizing, Microsoft's still pushing. I like it. Our MSFL is ripping. Good to see. Look at our SOXX, guys. SOXX is starting to push here. Guys, I just trimmed half of my MSFL position, our Microsoft long. MSFL just locked in double-digit gains, just over 10% there. Trimmed half, so we've been nibbling over the last week or so on Microsoft longs here, and just trimmed half, raising stops, okay? So nice trade if you caught that with us. Nice trade. Guys, I'm jumping into IGV $94 put, 94 put. Software's still ripping. Holy. IGV Microsoft is squeezing. them as IGVs, stop tagged. Small loss there on IGV. All right, guys, I'm all done for the day trading. Semis still look weak, so they could certainly drag things down if they continue to remain weak. So watch out for any sort of knee-jerk reaction down from the SOXX ETF. Other than that, software is still holding quite well, and there's a lot of rotation and relative strength under the hood of the market, guys. All right, good luck, everybody. We'll see you a little bit later. Cheers.